Hey guys, hey, hope you're all doing well. We are on an Astro walk, and we happen to have something kind of interesting happening here today, and it is the first day of, we'll say, so-called the new year, spring. Okay, with Aries, right, coming through, and so I wanted to just chat um a little bit because we are definitely clearing the so-called slate as we clear from, guys, this is so cute. Look at these little plants. Oh, it really is spring, guys. It really is very much spring. So yeah, as we move through, honestly, like the last zodiac wheel, okay, of consciousness, the last 12 zodiac signs. And so we're really in a new time and place, guys. We're really, really going to be coming into our own, is what I'm hearing. And what does that mean? It's kind of interesting because we think about, right, Aries, the archetype of Aries. We're talking about Mars. We're talking about, the first house. We're talking about the initiatory energies, where you also hold your ascendant energies, right, with your rising sign when you're born, when you are incarnating in this dimension. So the rising sign energies are actually pretty important. They're actually imperative to understand the rest. The rest so-called of the birth chart, gives perspective to the rest of the energies that are in the birth chart. The rising sign is your sort of lens through which you observe the next stages of this experience. So it's important, right? What we experience here is this first sort of space opens up for the new so-called year. We're moving through a lot on Astro. We're definitely, making things clear as well to ourselves, but also to others, right? Mars in Aries energy being that very brave, ardent sort of energy space. So it's very exciting, guys. There's a lot moving through, and you may find that you just sort of like want to call things out more. You're just like, you know what? Why not? Like, I'll be that person to just sort of stand here and say it for us all. That might be sort of proverbially where you're at when it comes to your projects. Okay, your curiosities, I'm hearing that as well, with your projects, with your creative abilities, getting into that zone and that space of like, wow, was I really letting like someone impact the way that I saw myself? After all, it's me here, right? I'm the one creating these little purple flowers, guys. So cute. Astronomical. But yeah, I mean, there's a moment, guys, definitely here during Aries season where I think we'll all sort of be like, I think I can do this on my own. I'm hearing that as well. Like, why? And definitely be, yes, as a collective, we will be releasing those dependencies, so-called, okay, upon things that, were just there. It's like, well, that was there, but it wasn't necessarily there for me. I'm hearing that the person that I realize I need to now really take a close look at and think, how will I sort of become something more than I would have been perceiving myself as? And this is ultimately coming through, okay, in terms of perspective, when it comes to innovating with your cause. We're never going to be stagnant, right? We're never going to be just one person. And that's the beauty of the Aries energy, is that it is very playful and dynamic, and it sort of opens that space for us to sort of be like, wow, what else could happen, and there is sometimes the lack of thought of consequence in that space too. Hence, right, Mars energy being kind of impulsive. But in the higher spectrum, we'll say it's a very creative energy, industrial energy, even warrior-like, right, very much pioneering, like, let's just do it. Let's just, like, why not? Like, okay, very, very, again, childlike. And so we all sort of will be having as well some sort of moment, right, clarity when it comes to where we've been on that path of seeing ourselves as ultimate creators, okay, and not looking at the past as a marker for where we go to next. And that's what really makes Aries so very empowering, is that it just looks at life with those truly open eyes. That is Aries in the higher form. In the shadow, okay, and then, yeah, because, I mean, not all Aries are going to be in that state of mind. Depends on, possibly, and hopefully they are, but the shadow of Aries, if you're in the shadow of Aries, then you will not be able to appreciate that energy space. The shadow of Aries, obviously, right, we can say can be very domineering, can be egotistical, can be frustrated. Okay, it's like, I'm not getting my way, but it's like not enough, you know, okay, of the, let's say, the grudge that, let's say, Scorpio would hold with Mars, where Mars rules as well Scorpio, right? But with Pluto, that's a very different discussion when we see the frustration with Scorpio. With Aries, it's more, I just am not just not getting my way, okay? And it's like, but there isn't at times with the shadow of Mars enough follow up, okay, on that question of like why. It's yeah, where Scorpio would, let's say, okay, kind of get maybe more strategic, very interesting. Look at that. I feel like those colors have been coming up quite a bit. Hi Mimi, just saw you in the chat. So Scorpio would be more like, let's say, strategic. Like, okay, well, why am I not getting my way? If someone's like, you know, kind of, Mars is more in the moment of the heat. Like, all I feel right now is that I'm an unhappy baby. Okay, something like this. So, yeah. So typically, I mean, Aries can get very, very angry and upset at times, so-called. But you know, it's not, let's say, so permanent, okay, so-called, as, let's say, yeah, that which would be more like strategic, okay, where it's like even like, you know, engaging like the emotional, the energy body to such a degree where with Scorpio it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna devise a plan to get back to them. I mean, let's clear it. This is obviously general. And if you are someone who has a lot of Aries, we're going to combine, because we're combinations of all energies. If we're just looking at Aries, just stripping it down alone, like Mars on its own, which is not realistic, right, when we're looking at the birth chart, because we have every sign, every planet in our chart. Nobody's only going to be just in Aries. So, but let's say, I mean, yeah, let's say that you got clear. This would especially hold if you have very strong Aries, like Aries overlapping Aries. Okay. Interesting stickers here around the city. Something about New York City popping up there. Anyway, so yeah, you know, it's a very competitive energy. But then, from the vantage point, let's say, yeah, like let's say you have Scorpio plus Aries, then oh boy, then it's a different. Oh shoot, the light. Then it's a different discussion, right? It's funny. Now I'm seeing something related to Boston. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, but guys, like I feel like this is really about this playful, adventurous sort of why not energy. Like, you know what? Forget the cycles. Like, okay, it's nice, but I don't have time for that emo song. You know, it's like something like this. Let's clear it in the road. Yeah, let's clear it. And maybe it's just even like your own like thoughts. It's like, you know, I realized that I was just thinking of things as like, you know, meaningful or holding value because they were at a certain point in time. But the past doesn't equate to passion, and that's space. If we're looking at it from just the energy space, Aries is just sort of in the moment, and it's impulsive. It's like they're just feeling it. Like they don't really have time to think. This is a general message. Okay, if you've got a lot of Aries plus air or Scorpio, then it's like gonna be obviously maybe a little bit different. But anyways, guys, to get back to it, there's a lot of it really exciting steps and stages here, and it is really as well though a matter of heeding the intuition with the little steps. I hear that you take in these new directions, and it's kind of like saying, you know, like, are children not intuitive? No, like children are also intuitive, but they're intuitive in their own way. Now, but we do obviously want to as well bring to attention that, yeah, it's not without warning, right? I mean, you definitely. Give me a sec, guys. I'm sure this actually fell in here. Yeah. It's not without warning, right? I mean, you do want to kind of remain mindful. You know, there can be this moment where you're like, I just want to do it. I want to do it, and I just want to do it, and that's that. It's like, but then, you know, where will this lead? You know, it's like if I were to take a step here, how would this person react? You know, that can be sometimes the blind spot of Aries, where it's like, we're not really sometimes thinking about like how what they say or do or think or smell or taste and however affects maybe another. I mean, it's one thing to do it for yourself, but then it's another thing to call that out and sort of project that and present that and, you know, even protect that. I'm hearing, okay, to call it out, like to, for example, you know, say like it can be a little bit egotistical, a little bit, you know, all in their zone. Like, you know, this guy right here who's just smoking on the park street, like he's the only person in the whole wide world ever, and he's assuming that everybody else wants to smell the cigarette smoke, and I think it's a cigar actually, but anyways, don't have time to figure it out. Gonna continue moving on. But yeah, like that Aries energy, okay, that can also be very insistent, where it's like you're just not realizing, bro. You're just not realizing that you know, there's another side to the story. I'm hearing let's talk. Yeah, for some it's like can you guys imagine that I lived in New York? Yeah, it was a whole moment. No, it's like I was just assuming that, but you know, but the thing is that that is the shadow of Aries. It can be, you know, and it's not, it's just, you know, it's kind of like they want to be protective. I'm hearing that as well. Like sometimes I don't really see like Aries being so much of like a conniving in the shadow of, you know, an energy as, let's say, Scorpio or something like that. The shadow of Aries is more temporary, like, you know, but then they will definitely hike down from that moment. My sister is an Aries, by the way. Okay, I'm not using her as the case study. It's like, oh my god, Nat. My shadow's on blast, what? Okay, no. Listen, everyone will translate their shadow differently. Of course, again, so many factors. Like, she's got a Gemini moon. She's got... Okay, go ahead, now expose it even further. No, but, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I know, I'm listening. Listen, we all have, yeah. So, but the point is, like, they will hike down, but they will hike up. They will really hike up, and they will make it more obvious, let's say, you know, Scorpio. Because Scorpio believes that, and I'm bringing Scorpio as an example because Scorpio shares the ruler of Mars. If, let's say, Scorpio gets kind of like, you know, heels and stompish, then, you know, with things, they will, if it is to their benefit and to their advantage to wait a bit before reacting, then they will do so. So Scorpios are quite good at that, usually. Kind of like, okay, I'm going to sit in the corner now and just sort of like tap my fingers together in perfect parallel. It's like, okay, well, let's clear it. So, whereas Aries, okay, yeah, but there is definitely, yeah. So, but yeah, so this is sort of the difference, but very similar still, and it does come down to the feeling of like, sometimes it can be rage, it can be passion, it can be, you know, this feeling of like, this guy's golfing in the park, interesting. So yeah, but it can be this moment, you know, it's like you know, people also just kind of showing their true colors. Like, it may be a season where you just kind of see it, like, what people really think, what they really feel. It's like, oh my god, Marty, I didn't know that bothered you when I hung out with the other man back there. It's like, yeah, that bothers me, Vanessa. I'm hearing that, okay. So you're just gonna maybe feel it, like, you know, people just expressing themselves more openly, more clearly with you as well, which is lovely. I mean, I really feel like we need that. We need this fire energy, like, truly, and we've been talking about this. So I wanted to just get on and chat about that a bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next videos. And yeah, Astro